Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm sure you remember this map from the movie Dark Knight Rises that came out in July of 2012. I guess it was sent to a few movie websites. It says here on comingsoon.net, Warner Brothers was sending out t-shirts for the movie back in December 2011. And the t-shirts came in this cylinder poster holder that had the Gotham map on it with a big island called Sandy Hook and the word Strike Zone 1 next to it. This is another view of all sides of the cylinder right here. And this is a full view of the map right here. So, as you probably know, the weird thing about it was this part here that says Sandy Hook, Strike Zone 1. This is a closer view. And you can see it circles a building right here. And the curvature of the highway just below that matches the map where Sandy Hook Elementary sits. So someone else did a video that transposes the two right here. You can find this on YouTube right here. And this pretty much clarifies that Strike Zone 1 right here on this map was definitely the Sandy Hook event. It just matches perfectly that location. And that event occurred on December 14th, 2012. But again, these blogs were out in December 2011, a full year before. And actually, both of the blogs I just showed posted this map on December 15th, 2011. This one here says, Warner Brothers has been mailing packages to various websites, including us, containing, the t-shirts, etc., in a tube wrapped in a map of Gotham City. And then this website right here actually says they received it the morning of December 15th in 2011. Well, the thing is, comingsoon.net is part of Crave Online, which is located in Los Angeles, just over the hill from Warner Brothers. So it's possible that Warner Brothers actually sent this map to them the day before, on December 14th of 2011, one full year to the day before the Sandy Hook shooting. So I don't think that's a coincidence. They're sending out this map exactly 1 year to the day before the event happened, and the map has the event on it. Okay. So, I don't know. That may indicate that someone in Warner Brothers knew the event was going to happen and exactly on what day it would happen. I don't know. But the fact that Hollywood predicts events before they happen isn't a surprise for those of us that are aware of, for example, this Simpsons episode that aired September 21st, 1997, The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, which was season 9, episode 1, which again, that's the 9 and the 1 right there. But in the episode, Bart holds up the $9 to the magazine and it says New York, $9, and then the Twin Towers are right next to it to make 9/11. And again, that was aired in 1997. Then there was the collapse of the Twin Towers in the movie Fight Club, which came out in 1999. And then probably the most significant 9/11 predictive programming was in the episode from The Lone Gunman that aired on March 4th, 2001, 6 months before the event, that was all about a government plot to crash an airplane into the World Trade Center and make it appear as a terrorist plot in order to justify more defense spending. This is right on IMDb right here. And the full episode of that Lone Gunman episode that aired 6 months before the event, it's on YouTube. So if you want to watch it, these are some snapshots right here. There's the plane crashing into the Twin Towers. Okay, so what I've shown here, though, I mean, I would say this isn't even 1% of what's out there. So if you want to know more about that, you can just Google 9/11 predictive programming. But it is a fact. Hollywood did predict that event before it happened. It was just everywhere in movies and TV. And also, we know the Boston bombing was in, what was it? that other TV show, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, it shouldn't be a surprise at this point. And if it is a surprise to you, then check it out. Just Google it and you'll see the proof. It's a fact that these events, these tragedies are portrayed in movies and television before they happen. That's just a fact. Okay. And this strike zone map right here from Batman does show the exact location of Sandy Hook Elementary School, and it was sent to movie sites in Los Angeles exactly 1 year before the event, 1 year to the day before the event. So the question is, will the rest of these 5 strike zones occur as well? And if so, where? And I know some people are going to ignore this and just argue that, oh, that Sandy Hook incident matching the Batman map is just a coincidence because the Gotham map represents New York City and there's a Sandy Hook, New Jersey, south of Brooklyn. Well, they'd be partially right because the Gotham map does partially represent New York City. You can see up at the top right here, Red Hook, which is here in Brooklyn. It also shows Fort Clinton right here, which is the northern part of Central Park. And West Chelsea Hill may refer to Chelsea, which is right here. So you have Red Hook here, Chelsea here, and Fort Clinton up here. And if you were to turn this map sideways, you'd have Red Hook on the left, Chelsea in the middle, and Fort Clinton on the far right, which does not match the map. They have West Chelsea down here, south of Red Hook, and Fort Clinton right here. And so that doesn't match. And there are plenty of other things in here that do not match the city of Manhattan. But this right here, this where it says Narrows, that is in Virginia right here. And somebody else made a video of this. It's right here on YouTube. And you can see that this area on the Batman map called Narrows is actually a perfect match to Narrows, Virginia, right here. So this location right here on the Batman map definitely does not refer to Manhattan. It's a location in Narrows, Virginia. That's pretty clear. So while there are similarities to Manhattan, this is not a map of Manhattan. And that's also obvious when you take note of the interstates on the map, because there are 3, one up here, one down here, and then another over here. The one up here is the 65. That one's hard to see, but I think most people agree it says 65. And the actual Interstate 65 runs from north to south from Alabama up to Indiana, nowhere near New York. And this interstate down at the bottom that's depicted as going through Sandy Hook, that is the 35. And the actual Interstate 35 is in the middle of the United States. Again, nowhere near Sandy Hook, either in New Jersey or Connecticut. So it runs from Texas to Minnesota. And I just wanted to point this out. The fact that the 35 runs through Sandy Hook on the map, that may indicate that there's another location in one of the states that the 35 runs through. So, and I actually found 2 towns with similar names, in one in Texas and the other in Iowa. There's Sandyville, Iowa right here, and also Sandy Point, Texas, which is located along the Gulf border, which is sort of shaped like a hook. So that may mean something, but the 35 doesn't actually go through Sandy Point, Texas. Although it is close, it doesn't actually go through that. And it's pretty clear by this right here that the shape of this highway matches the school and highway in Sandy Hook, Connecticut. So this may establish a logical rule for decoding the map, possibly that the location of specific events will not necessarily be on the interstates that are depicted. So, for example, Strike Zone 3 and Strike Zone 5, which seem to be on the Interstate 65 in the map, may not actually take place there. It's possible they will, but it's also possible they won't, because this event in Sandy Hook was nowhere near the Interstate 35. Okay, and then this interstate up here, it's hard to see, but it looks like a 15 to me. And the true Interstate 15 runs from California up to Montana. So when we look at all three of the interstates that are named on this Batman map, it's clear that the map represents the United States because it lists the 15, which is over here, the 35 in the middle, and the 65 right here. So it might be alluding to an event specifically within the boundaries of these interstates. I don't know, but it clearly represents the United States. And at least on one level, these blocks right here may represent the states themselves, because if you count from this one here on the left all the way across, there are 10 blocks. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and the 10th one is partially covered by water. So if you started counting in Oregon all the way over to New Jersey, you also have 10 states. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 10th one is New Jersey, which is right on the coast. So I made this right here as a possible representation, rough draft representation of what the map may represent if it represents the whole United States from the West Coast to the East Coast. And if you want to compare the two, you can pause the video to compare it. But it may indicate that both California and Nevada will be covered with water, all of Manhattan covered with water, all of Florida covered, parts of New Jersey, most of Virginia and North Carolina, and most or parts of South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi covered with water. So it seems like it represents a major geological event, which I personally think is a coming asteroid impact. And I've explained why I believe that in other videos. So you can check out the description below this video for more information on that. But if that's what this map depicts, then one or more of these strike zones may represent the locations of one or more of the asteroid impacts. So, I mean, strike zone 1 was obviously Sandy Hook, Connecticut, right here. That's why I put the 1 here. But notice on the map here, the 35 that is actually in Texas runs through Sandy Hook. And this location, if you look at this, if this is the United States right here, this location right here actually resembles Texas, and the 35 is running through it. So right here, that may indicate that Sandy Point, Texas, which is right on this area that's shaped like a hook, it may indicate that this is actually strike zone 1. So we may be talking about a future event that involves the actual asteroid impact that's coming. Okay, but this is where it starts getting really deep, because if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know what this means. And this map right here actually matches this map that came out of that Batman map. It actually matches some things that we've been talking about for a couple of years, specifically in regards to the coming asteroid impact. So it starts getting really deep at this point, and I have to stop part 1 right here, and the link to part 2 is below.